As a kid, I loved science fiction. I loved the future that they were portraying in these movies, where people were just surrounded by intelligence. You know, if time machines have existed, I probably would have packed up and left a long time ago. But they don't. So I asked myself, what do we need to do to get to this future? This is one of the driving visions behind artificial intelligence. But how can you build an intelligent machine if you can't even define intelligence? When we began our journey, we were really surprised that there was no scientific definition of intelligence. So as scientists, we ask ourselves the most fundamental question you can ask. What is intelligence? And as we work to develop a theory of intelligence, our journey took us to a very surprising place. So we started with this assumption that more intelligent life forms are more effective at achieving a variety of goals compared to lesser intelligent life forms. Of course, that begs the question, what does it mean to achieve a goal? How do you describe that? Take this coffee cup, for example. If my goal is to move this cup over here, and I do that, I think we can all agree I achieved my goal. But how do you describe it? I mean, compared to copying over here, what's the difference? Well, in physics, we can describe it as a collection of particles, meaning the cup has now been moved over here. And essentially what that means is that the composition of space-time has changed. The first composition had these particles over here, and after I achieved my goal, the particles over here. This version of space-time we are interpreting as having achieved a goal. Take me getting a cup of coffee. There's a lot of things that have to happen in a certain order. Some of them are obvious, some of them are not so obvious. Obviously, I have to open up the door and walk up to the counter. But for me to read the menu, photons from the light bulbs have to hit the menu that bounces back to my eyes. For me to be able to decide what I want, particles are moving across my brain. My voice box creates sound waves in the air. Those sound waves travel to the barista. All of these interactions are at the most fundamental level, just particle movements. It's just about restructuring the composition of space-time so that I can get my coffee. That's why in our theory, we define intelligence as the process of changing the composition of space-time. If all you need to do is to change the composition of space-time, and you're able to boil that down into an algorithm, it might be one of the most powerful algorithms in the history of science. An algorithm that can predict how space-time has to look like in order to do anything from getting a cup of coffee to assisting scientists in developing a cure for cancer. One single algorithm that can do anything because it only focuses on the process of changing the composition of space-time. This is the algorithm that we're using at Kimera to build that bridge to that intelligent future I was imagining as a kid.